Hi, it's Panos here, and I'm so excited to let you know that after 30 years in real estate, I've seen now a model that works, it's clear, and it's going to help you become Agent 3.0. The attraction business. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. Real estate has changed. I remember 30 years when I first got into real estate, I had a 3x5 cards, I had a manila folder as a listing presentation folder, and I used to have my own camera and some signboards in the boot of my car. Today, life is much different. Today, with one email, you can send out to a database of 100,000 clients that you've got a new listing. They'll see some beautiful imagery. They'll see 3D floor plans. They'll see interactive furnishing apps. They're going to be able to do a virtual tour of the property. Real estate now is a marketing game, and people know everything. There are no more blind dates in business. The real estate models now are all about having a business unit. And what we're seeing is the emergence of Agent 3.0. These people are young, hungry, sharp, and they've made a decision to go pro. They're tech savvy, they're socially media savvy, and they understand and think like the consumer. The consumer is time poor, and they know the price of everything, but they don't know the value of anything. And that's where we've seen this Agent 3.0 come in. They've let go of commission breath. They've let go of that old model, interrupting strangers that didn't want to talk to them. And they've built this model where they're winning the digital interview, the social interview, and the traditional interview. That's right, they're dominating with realestate.com.au. They're dominating on social media, on apps like Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, and in print media, they still realize that marketing works in combination, not in isolation. So they're dominating in that. So what I'm going to talk to you about in this video is how you can become an attraction business. This attraction business has got a template. There's a toolkit, and we're going to teach you on how to win that game. And I'm also going to let you know that when you build an attraction business, what you'll notice is that listings will start coming in. You'll notice that you'll attract a better kind of client. You'll notice that consumers will want to invest in marketing because they will work it out. It's in their best interest. Real estate is no longer about selling real estate. There's a lot of low-cost models, private sale models. There's a lot of cheap agents that do cheap commissions. It's no longer about selling real estate. Today, it's about house price maximization. And what you do as a real estate person is bring a set of resources that's going to attract more buyers to a property. You also bring negotiation. That's what you bring to the table. The great news is in Australia, companies like News Corporation have got a number of products that are going to make it easy for you. For instance, NewsPay, which allows you to handle the issue or challenge when you've got a vendor that says, I have no money. Products like these allow the vendor to buy the marketing now and to pay for it up to 6 months later. Then there's also new innovative tools. Companies like Deercrit have produced 3D floor plans, interactive furnishing apps, so really cutting edge technology that allows you to engage a buyer during the journey of them buying a property and keep them emotionally involved, because it is the emotional buyer that pays that 10% premium. So in the next video, we're going to spend time going through a toolkit, and we're going to have some templates for you so you can start delivering that perfect presentation. The Attraction Business Toolkit. So when you're delivering a presentation to a vendor, what you've got to be able to do is to show them that what they're going to pay, they're going to get more back for it. That's the basis of sales, ensuring that the customer gets a return of investment. Step number one. I think what you've got to do is very early is explain to a customer it is not about getting property sold, it's about achieving that 10% premium. And the way that you're going to achieve it is to deliver a marketing presentation that's going to find not just some of the buyers, but all the buyers. The first thing that I'd like you to explain to a vendor is this. There are three prices in real estate. There is the emotional figure. The emotional figure is the buyer that says, I don't just like this property, I must have it. And that buyer will actually pay a figure above what we call the probable price. The probable price is the second price. That's the figure that, based on comparable sales, based on, say, CoreLogic RP data, comparables, suggest that this property will sell in that bracket. And then you've got the third price, which I call the mathematical price. And that pretty much is the bargain hunter. They want to buy a property under the probable figure. When you're talking to a client, your whole strategy should be, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, this is how we're going to achieve that emotional figure for you. The second thing I'd like you to explain when you're talking to customers is that there are 4 buyers in the marketplace at any one time. Those 4 buyers are the following. You've got a local buyer. This person is basically living in the suburb already. They basically have been part of that community. They eat there, they shop there. Everything revolves around that suburb, and their next home will be there. You then have got the out of area buyer. This buyer could be coming from another city, another state, another country. Then you've got the buyer that I call the passive buyer. This is the buyer that's not even looking in the marketplace. This is the buyer that potentially is working really hard, has got a family, both of the adults in the house are working, they've got kids at school, and they are just so time poor. And what actually happens is that they only find out about a house when they pick up the paper and they look through it one day and there's a beautiful home that's just got everything that they ever wanted. They go to the open for inspection, and the next thing you know is they own the property. This is called the passive buyer. And in real estate, we love passive buyers because they don't over-analyze and underact, which is the characteristic of the fourth buyer, which is the active buyer. The active buyer is very interesting. There's lots of them, and that they're easy to find. This is the buyer that is registered on every portal. This is the buyer that's probably sitting in your database. This buyer pretty much does a PhD in real estate when they're looking to buy, and they become the area's best valuer. What I'm saying is this: don't deliver a marketing strategy to your clients that only delivers the active buyer. Because if you don't use a strategy that delivers 100% of the buyers in the marketplace, how will you know you've achieved 100% of the potential in the value of the property? So they're the 4 buyers, and I think you need to illustrate them the way that they've come up on this video. The next thing you need to do is, of course, is to go through a marketing campaign. And a really good question to start off with when you're delivering to a client is to say this: Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, would you like me to present you with a marketing plan to make you happy, or one to get you the best price? I can give you either. Getting out a role play for a moment. Have you seen that what you want to do is you want to lead the conversation? You want to be question based, and what you want to do is make it easy for the customer to go down your path, because if you're not controlling the conversation, the client will be. And what I'm saying is, by controlling, I mean actually being able to ask questions that helps them understand what they truly need. The next thing I was going to say is you need to design the program, and I love drawing it up on the run. I'm a big believer in using 2-phase selling. Phase 1 is where you actually just introduce buyers, and what you do is, if you haven't got the property sold after 48 hours, you then move on to phase 2, which is a broader marketing campaign. I like this strategy because I know that many times real estate agents tell me the reason they don't get more vendor paid marketing is that they're scared of losing the business. The truth is, you should never be scared on something that's good for the consumer. Because if you know that there's a potential buyer out there that might have paid $50,000 or $100,000 more for that property, you as an agent have an obligation to bring this up to a vendor. But I get it. There's other agents that go to a listing presentation. And I understand that some agents have got nothing else to offer but free marketing and a low fee. And you don't want to lose the business, and that's why I recommend using a phase 1 approach, where you say to a customer, it's as simple as this: we've got 150 people registered on our database already. Let's introduce one of them to your property and see if they buy it. If they don't, we'll talk to you about a phase 2 approach. And that's where I want to go with now. I want to talk to you about phase 2. Phase 2 is about showing a client that The way to get top dollar in real estate is to go onto realestate.com.au and ensure that you're on page 1 or page 2 of the search results. Because if you're not, you're going to build a billboard in the forest. You want to ensure that you're on the agent's website, which is your own site, of course. You're going to ensure that you're going to be on a database. And this is what I call our online marketing. But you've got to explain to clients, your online marketing and your offline marketing must be in line, because marketing works in combination, not in isolation. Of course, a signboard. Of course, you're going to have it in your window display. And then we start looking at other elements like your own brochure that you distribute via direct mail, that I'm hoping that, as you watch this video, that you realize that real estate is changing and you can no longer spray and pray. That's right. Spray and pray is think that you'll just launch material into people's letterboxes and think it's all going to work out. And that's why I'm a big believer in social media. You see, Facebook's interesting. To me, it's becoming the letterbox drop of 2017, 2018. Why? Because what we're seeing is this. You can target people by location, by demographic. You can actually hit their timeline. You can hit people that are on your database, their timeline. So what we're talking about is all of a sudden, what you can be doing is becoming the digital expert in a marketplace by just using this strategy alone. What if you started actually doing video on every one of your property, and you start in the video and you said, "Hi, it's Tom Panos here from XY Real Estate. Let's take a tour of 27 Johnson Road. This has got to be one of the nicest homes on the market at the moment. By the way, last year there was 153 sales in this suburb with the average price of $850 and the average days on market was 27. Out of role play. Do you see what I'm getting at? Video allows you not only to represent the property, but to represent the suburb, and in the meantime, you are becoming the trusted advisor in that marketplace. You get that video, you upload it onto Facebook, you might actually advertise or boost within 3 kilometers of that property, and what do you have then? You have 5,000 views on a video with you in it talking about a property, 50 listings a year by 5,000 views. That's 250,000 views in your core area. That's how you win the digital interview. That's how you win the social interview. So what we're talking about now is a marketing campaign that is finding all buyers in the marketplace, not just a small section. Without a doubt, the biggest thing I'm asked in real estate is, "But Tom, is print media worth investing in?" Well, here's the deal. Print media delivers less buyers than it used to a decade ago. But what I can tell you is that the quality of the buyer is the passive buyer. The quality of the buyer is the local buyer. And by the way, the wealthiest people in Australia are the oldest people, and they're still engaged in print. So you must follow the money trail. So when delivering marketing, all I can really say to you is ensure that you've got believability. Why? Because no one likes commission breath. And when I say believability, you've got to believe the stuff you say, because if you don't, your audio doesn't match your video, clients will smell it a mile away. The other thing you need to do is use case studies. And as you'll see, these case studies are examples of properties that you can use to actually show and create your own. You need to create your own dashboard like we've provided, a dashboard of the last 6-8 sales and what you've done from a marketing perspective to get a result. Do you see how we keep showing that you've got to be spending somewhere between 0.7% and 1% of the value of property in marketing? In addition to that, you'll see if you're an auction type office, the bidder's guide. The bidder's guide shows where the property was advertised, shows what the bid was and the name of the bidder. What we're showing is that there's a correlation between marketing and the bid. That way you can sit in front of a client and say, "Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, if we took away this marketing, we'll take away the bidder. And if we take away the bidder, we take away the bid. I refuse to mismarket your home and say sorry later." A lot of the times you're going to speak to clients that are going to say to you that they don't want to invest in marketing. And that's where I think you've got to be very powerful with your dialogue and language. Yes, you need to have scripts and dialogue, but let me just say this. Scripts and dialogues are simply the truth told efficiently. Never use 1,000 words when 50 will do. We've included with this video a template of the most useful scripts that you can use when you're presenting marketing. We want you to know this stuff. We want you to become Agent 3.0. We want you to become a professional, and we want you to understand you get paid for what you say and how you say it. I hope this 15-minute video and the templates are going to be useful for you to go out there and start becoming the trusted advisor in the marketplace, helping consumers get top dollar for their home. And I hope you build an attraction business. Remember, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.